Welcome to datascience.show, the podcast where data science meets executive leadership. We talk with top AI and analytics thought leaders about turning data into real business impact. If you're a C-level leader or data expert shaping the future, you're in the right place.
Last quarter, a model rollback cost one company $2 million, not because the code failed, but because executives couldn't tie ethics signals to a decision. I'm Mirko Peters, and today we'll build the kind of responsible AI scorecard that prevents that exact surprise. No theory, just the 8 metrics you need to make fast, auditable choices. Why this matters now. Regulators want evidence. Boards want quantified risk, and product teams want to keep shipping. If ethics sits in a separate folder, you'll either get paralysis or expensive surprises. My goal in the next 20 minutes is to give you a compact operational scorecard you can start piloting this quarter. Quick frame. Picture a C-level data leader managing models across fraud detection, pricing, and customer engagement, distributed teams, mixed risk, and a board that will ask for an audit on short notice. That composite view is the lens I'll use as we pick what to measure and why.
Start small. Think of it this way. A 40-item checklist becomes unreadable in 3 months. I aim for under 10 metrics. I focus on 8. Business-aligned performance, for example, conversion lift or prevented loss, data quality SLAs, fairness coverage, robustness and drift, explainability coverage, safety incidents, cost and latency, and adoption impact. First, business-aligned performance. Executives don't care about raw accuracy. They care about dollars and outcomes. Measure model contribution as % lift or direct dollar impact versus an operational baseline. Express it simply. Dollars saved per month, conversion delta, or reduction in loss. That becomes your primary deploy or pause lever. Second, data quality SLAs. Bad inputs are the silent killer of models. Set concrete thresholds. Freshness SLA, less than 24 hours for streaming features. Schema compliance, greater than 99.5%. Missing value rate, less than 1% for critical feeds. And crucially, map SLA breaches to exposure. Estimate the incremental error rate and its dollar impact so data issues escalate like budget overruns.
A short story. We once tolerated a 2% data lag because it felt minor, until fraud predictions doubled, and a week later we had to roll back a feature that cut revenue 3%. That's why SLAs must link to business impact, not just percentages.
Third, fairness coverage. Don't drown in parity tests. Pick the protected attributes that matter for the flow, and measure the gaps that translate to real harm. A practical starting threshold. Flag any subgroup with a false negative gap greater than 5 percentage points, or a relative disparity greater than 10%. Report coverage as percentage of transactions with a fairness test attached. Goal, greater than 90% for high-risk flows.
Fourth, robustness and drift. Track population stability index and model performance decay continuously. Use concrete triggers. If PSI greater than 0.2 or AUC drops by more than 3 points month over month, that's amber. PSI greater than 0.4 or AUC loss greater than 6 points is red. When amber hits, follow a documented mitigation playbook. Retrain, restrict scope, or rollback.
Fifth, explainability coverage. Not every model needs full glass box explanations, but you must know how many production decisions have an auditable rationale. For high-stakes flows, aim for 100% coverage. For lower stakes, track coverage and quality of explanations so you can answer regulatory queries quickly.
Sixth, safety incidents. Count incidents and categorize severity. Surface incident frequency, mean time to detect, mean time to respond, and financial impact per incident. Those metrics let a board convert operational failures into familiar risk terms.
Seventh, cost and latency. Measure total cost of ownership per model, infra, retraining, monitoring, and cost per real business action. Track latency for customer-facing decisions. When cost per dollar of value exceeds your threshold, the executive decision is optimize, consolidate, or sunset.
Eighth, adoption and impact. A well-behaved model that nobody uses doesn't deliver value. Track adoption rate, reach, and retention of impact. Combine these with performance and safety to form a balanced view: reach, reliability, and risk. For each metric, define 4 things: source, calculation, owner, and threshold. Source, where telemetry lives. Calculation, exact formula. Owner, one accountable name. Thresholds, green, amber, red with explicit actions. That turns fuzzy ethics talk into operational triggers.
Ownership matters. Product owns adoption and impact. Data engineering owns SLAs. ML engineering owns drift and latency. Legal owns regulatory readiness. The executive role, CDO or Chief AI Officer, aggregates and escalates.
You might ask, who actually enforces this? The simplest answer is one name per metric. No committees. One owner. Where should the scorecard live? Make it a standing item at monthly product reviews and at quarterly investment gates. For red flags, trigger an immediate mitigation review with owners. Boards get a concise quarterly snapshot, tying scorecard status to financial exposure and planned mitigations, not raw telemetry.
Expect trade-offs. Tighter thresholds reduce risk, but increase false positives and cost. Broader fairness tests increase coverage, but slow delivery. Quantify mitigation cost versus risk cost and make the trade-off a financial decision executives can approve.
Audits and regulators are the final piece. Keep immutable records, model snapshots, training data hashes, test suites, and scorecard history. Produce a one-page narrative that links a decision to scorecard signals and mitigations. That one page shortens regulatory response time dramatically.
Looking ahead, evolve the scorecard only when a metric closes a decision gap. Automate collection at the source so the scorecard isn't a manual reporting burden. Align cadence with product and compliance cycles so metrics reflect reality, not stale dashboards.
2 concrete steps you can take in the next 30 to 90 days. Run a 90-day inventory. List live models, owners, and which of the 8 categories are unmeasured. Then pick one high-impact model and operationalize the full mini scorecard for it. Business performance, data SLA, one fairness test, drift monitoring, explainability coverage, safety baseline, cost per action, and adoption. Use that pilot to prove process and then scale.
To close, responsible AI isn't a checklist you file away. It's a decision framework that must live inside investment gates, product reviews, and board conversations. When metrics are concise, auditable, and tied to business outcomes, ethics becomes governance that protects value rather than a blocking constraint. That's the difference between models and value.
Protecting value like that $2 million surprise, that's the point. If you found this episode valuable, subscribe and share it with your network. And let's connect on LinkedIn. I'm Mirko Peters. We'll be back with more conversations on how data science and AI create real business impact. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to datascience.show. If you found value in this episode, subscribe, share it with your network, and join us next time as we explore how data science drives smarter decisions and better business outcomes.